What's up, Homestead homies? Off Grid with Doug and Stacy. I'm Doug.
I'm Stacy.
And I'm Jim Long.
And today we're in the Baker Creek garden area here, and we're going to talk to you guys about 3 ways or 3 tips for using herbs. And Jim here has a book. He's an author, and he's gave us a little bit of time so he can walk us through some of these ways. And one of them I think is really cool that we probably haven't seen before, and we're going to show you guys even how to do it.
How to dry herbs. How do we dry herbs?
Well,
The best way.
the typical method is microwave, which is the worst in the world.
Oh, no, no, no.
No.
If you're using a microwave to dry your herbs, turn the video off right now.
Absolutely. The second way is to tie up cute little bundles in your kitchen,
Yeah.
which is also a hideous way to do it because the light and the smells from the kitchen absolutely ruin what you've got.
Oh, there's a tip.
These herbs are dried in a dark place that is very warm.
Right.
The darkness is important, and so in my herb shop, when I don't have people there, I hang these up, cut them in from the garden and hang them up, and let them dry, and in about a week or 2 weeks they're dry and ready to use. This is oregano, this is lemon balm, which is one of my favorite herbs. But several years ago I wrote a book for men's health, and men, believe it or not, don't like to tie cute little bundles and hanging them up. It's somehow against their principles. So I came up with this method that is so simple, and I don't know whether men use it or not, but I have a lot of women friends who do. You go out and you gather some herbs. This is some sage that I gathered this morning. The method is bend it in 2. If it's long like this, put it in a brown paper bag. Paper bag is important.
Yeah.
Don't use a plastic one because it won't work.
No.
Brown paper bag, it wicks the moisture away.
Right. And it keeps it dark.
And it keeps it dark, and you put a paper clip on it, and you put it in the back seat of your car.
Oh, so it's warm.
So it's warm,
Yeah.
it's dark, you drive around, you forget it's there,
Right.
and in about a week to 10 days, you've got dried herbs.
I mean, right off the bat, we just exposed like one of the biggest myths. How many times have you guys watched videos or seen people like went to their house and they had herbs hanging up in their kitchen, like even by the window? I mean, right off the bat. I think that was pretty good. I picked up a hashtag nugget right off the bat.
It works, and it works great for rose petals.
Yeah.
Works for just about anything
Yeah,
that you
anything you want to dry.
Absolutely. Put it in the trunk of your car if you've got one, back seat of your car, in your pickup truck, and a pickup truck will smell wonderful in about a week.
Oh, yeah, perfect. The
Great
car.
tip.
I love that. Because I did the thing with the bag, but I would just hang it in the house somewhere. But the car is so much easier, so much quicker.
Well, and you remember it's there.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's great.
So I guess next up is the wreaths. He's making these really cool wreaths.
And I know your passion is cooking, the culinary uses of herbs, and I know that you really love it and you're a great chef, so give us some good information.
Okay, so in the wintertime, it doesn't have to be winter, but wintertime when I want to make a fast pot of soup of some kind, I dig out one of my cooking wreaths, and I make these in the summer, and I can sit on my porch in my rocking chair and make a bunch of these and give them as gifts. And all you do is put it in a pot of broth or whatever you're making your soup from, and we'll show you how to make it and how to use it in a minute.
So you basically take the herbs, we're going to show you guys how to manipulate them into the wreath, and then you put them somewhere like in a bag or...
In the back seat of the car?
Back seat of the car is great.
Yeah. And then once they're dried, then you're able to just put them maybe in a box or some, some kind of storage area.
A mason jar.
And then
Exactly.
you just
Yeah.
pull them out and use them as needed.
Yes.
Just like you
That's
do
awesome.
with the regular herbs, yeah.
All right, so I guess we'll show them how to make one.
Yes. So what we do to make a cooking wreath is to pick a bunch of things that you're going to use for cooking in the wintertime. And what I have here is some lemongrass, some parsley, some lavender, savory, oregano, marjoram, and winter onion. We're going to use most of these into a wreath, and if you're cooking big pots of stew, we go for a big one like this. I usually make a smaller one. This is pretty concentrated. It will shrink as it dries, and I make a little ribbon for it so you can pull it out of the pot. I just wove this out of lemongrass, but you can use string. So how we start is we simply just wind it in a little circle and tuck it in so it holds itself together. I usually start with the second one and go in the opposite direction. This is oregano and marjoram that I'm using. You could stop with that if you're making a pasta sauce, but I like to use some savory. Savory is an herb that doesn't get used very often, but each layer that you put on is simply holding the other one in place. Garlic chives. I always put garlic chives in. You get a little bit of garlic flavor, you get a little chive flavor. It kind of mellows out all the other herbs that go together. It looks like a little ribbon when it dries. And then I'm going to put in the lavender. And you may not think of lavender as a cooking herb, but think cookies, think chicken, think the French dishes that you like.
Yeah, they use a lot of French dishes.
A lot of lavender in chicken dishes in France. And of course, I've seen people take this method and do it much more decoratively with little edible flowers in, some calendula, some sage blossoms, any of those things together. And in just seconds, you have a wreath, and you can kind of tighten it, tuck in the pieces, trim them off, and of course, put a little ribbon on it if you want, and dry it in your paper bag, and it will be ready to use anytime. You can use it fresh as far as that goes. One tip about cooking with these or any herbs, if you're cooking something that's going to cook for, say, an hour or an hour and a half, put this in the last 15 minutes. If you put it in too soon, you boil all the flavor out, all of the essential oils just wind up being in the air, and it smells great, but you won't have much flavor.
We always talk about getting nuggets. That's a good nugget because a lot of, you put it in at the beginning, so wait at the end. I like that.
Yes.
Yep.
And that's true of almost any herb except for garlic. But most things, rosemary, thyme, all those, put them in at the last. Don't put them in at the first. Just ruin the flavor if you do that.
I really like the cooking wreath. I think that was a really neat thing. Hopefully you guys took some notes and you saw how he wove it all together, so you can do that at your house as well. Plus you'll be drying your herbs properly from here on out.
Yep.
So next up we're going to talk about, a lot of people use herbs for tea, but they make it hot.
Right. And you start with dry leaves. That's great in the summertime, but that's not the best flavor. So I have a method that I learned from a friend down in Arkansas that's called cold pressed mint tea, and you could do it with lemon balm, anise, hyssop, lemon verbena, any number of things, but I like it with mint. So I have some fresh peppermint that I picked from my garden, and it's this much. It's not a huge amount.
Yeah.
But to make it, you wad it up and think of it as a dishcloth that you're wringing out.
Kind of bruising it.
Bruising it just enough. You fill the pitcher totally to the top with ice.
Well, I guess we won't be making it at our house.
And then you fill the pitcher with water to the top.
Boy, that could be really refreshing in the summertime.
Oh yeah. And the possibilities are endless, which you could even add to that. Put some fruit with it.
Oh, pineapple, cherries,
Yeah.
you name it. That's fabulous. Cucumbers, doesn't matter. In 5 minutes, you've got the flavor out of the mint.
Oh, so it's just 5 minutes.
It's ready to drink, absolutely.
So then you just pour it into your cup and have a cold tea.
And you would be amazed at how different it tastes as opposed to doing it with hot.
And you know what? Because mint, sometimes when you do the hot, it kind of, I think it ruins it sometimes if you put too hot of water. This would make it be a little bit more, you could really, I think,
have a fuller flavor.
And more robust.
Yeah.
More refreshing too.
Yeah.
And you don't have that kind of dried, leafy flavor in this. This is just fresh mint. It's wonderful.
That sounds great. Hopefully you guys liked all the tips about drying herbs and just herbs in general. Jim here has some books, and they're available at Baker Creek Seed Company. Are you in the catalog?
I'm not sure. I think so.
And you're online with their store?
Yes.
Yeah,
He
so
has
if you guys
lots of
wanna-
really, really good books.
Or you
Great
could go
information.
to
longcreekherbs.com.
and check out his books there. They're pretty handy dandy because our book's coming, but you'll probably be old and not watch videos anymore before Stacy actually gets it together. So, well, thanks for showing us your tips, and we appreciate
bet.
your time. That's a refreshing drink. As always, you can check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter under Off Grid with Doug and Stacy, and you can check out Baker Creek at all the same places, rareseeds.com.
Yep.
Have a good glass of tea.
Yep.
We'll see you guys on the
here
next
we go.
video.
Drink this too. Hey guys, thanks for watching our video. You might want to check out these videos.
And if you want to become a Homestead homie, click the picture of us below.
We will see you tomorrow.